Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we're gonna talk again about Martin Fitzwater, hopefully for the last time. Yeah, it's the third day after the Arnold Classic, and all we talk about at this point is Martin Fitzwater. Nobody is talking about Andrew Jack or Nick Walker or Wesley Wissers. I made a couple of videos about those guys the day of the show and the next day, and that's it, because us creators, we don't have unlimited time. We have a certain amount of time to make a certain amount of videos, and right now everybody wants to know about Martin, so that's what the content is gonna be about. Even today, after this video, I'll post another one. It's going to be about other topics, but let's get it over with. Let's do this final video about Martin Fitzwater. So basically what happened, what's new, is that pretty much everybody has shifted around, and now the sponsors that dropped Martin and the people that hated on him, that held him accountable, and the media that also made content about him, basically reported on what happened. We are the villains. We are the villains, and Martin is the victim. That's what happened. Now, if you guys follow my channel, you know that ever since Martin attacked Giles Thomas, I was after him. And I don't like Giles Thomas at all. But he's one of the OG bodybuilding reporters, and if he attacks one of us, I feel like it's my duty to defend him, because not many people actually defended Giles. Everybody was like, it's not a big deal, he just banged on his phone and that's it. But no, I took that very seriously, because it could have happened to anybody else after that, especially if he is not being punished for that. The organization did nothing, his sponsors did nothing, the media didn't really go after him. I did, but that was about it. And after that, he also went after the entire bodybuilding media. And of course, I didn't like that either, so I continued going after him. But at this point, when I realized that he might actually do something stupid, that this potentially isn't just a cry for attention, I tried to calm things down. I told you guys to take it easy on this guy. But at this point, what happened is that basically the tide shifted so much that now he is the victim. And us, the fans of the sport, the bodybuilding media, the sponsors, we are to be blamed for what he did, pretty much. Poor Martin, he has mental issues. It's not his fault. He needs to go to a therapist, he needs to do this and that. We need to take it easy on him, we need to support him at this very difficult time. It's him who created this difficult time. It's him that insulted and shoved and swore at Nick Walker, that threatened a whole bunch of people from the bodybuilding media. Even the fans got a lot of hit. He was swearing the fans, he was cursing at them, he was insulting everybody. And of course, the sponsors, who are literally the only reason why they're existing, is because the bodybuilding fans are buying products from them, and Martin is directly insulting them. Of course, the sponsors left him. Now in this video, we'll actually take a look at what everybody, basically from the bodybuilding media, everybody who shared their opinion, and it's many of them who actually shared their opinion on this, what they are saying. So the first guy we got is somebody from Martin's inner circle, and it's Brett Wilkin. Now, before I read what Brett had to say, guys, keep in mind that this guy thinks female semen exists.
Somebody you don't know. It's got to be somebody you don't know. Let's say that.
So it's male semen?
No, it's no, to God, that was a joke. No, to God, that was a joke. It's female semen. What do you think?
No, I gotta know which way we're going.
Brett, you're joking right now, right?
What?
Wait, is it female semen?
Oh my God. What the fuck? There's no such thing as female semen.
Well, I was thinking.
After I heard this, I can no longer take Brett Wilkin seriously. But he's a good bodybuilder and he's a good businessman, but he's not exactly the brightest guy. I mean, let's face it. So his statement was this: although I do not support Martin's actions these last few days, the reality is he is my brother and I care for him, and at this moment it's just solely about him getting in a better spot mentally. I am not coming on here to make excuses for any actions or to go into meaningless comment section interaction. A lot of the initial comments and reactions were warranted for sure. What I am going to say here though is that I am absolutely disgusted by the messages I have been receiving today and the hate involved. I've received hundreds of message requests that are full of crap and that honestly just show me people reflecting their own insecurities, jealousy, hatred, and personal problems. To continue to tear a man down now that he's at his lowest says a lot more about you than it does about the individual. Even Nick Walker, who I've personally talked to, wants to see Martin bounce back from this. Meanwhile, there are so many internet trolls that are representing for Nick getting some kind of high, I guess, from messaging me hateful things. If that's what you call being a fan, then you're twisted in the head and truly your idol you look up in the first place doesn't care regardless. So you just look stupid in the end. I am a pretty positive individual altogether. I could never imagine taking the time out of my day to write such things about somebody I will never know and nor care to ever do so. It's a sad thing to see indeed. Be better than that. Now, one thing here caught my attention, and that's that Nick doesn't care about this. But Nick admitted in the comments that it's true that he was shoved by Martin and swore at by Martin as well. And here, when the Beyond the Stage TV announced that he was dropped by his sponsors, Nick said it's about time he stops getting away with this shit. So, I don't know what kind of messages did Brett receive, but if at this point, guys, we are all like, it's not his fault, he has mental issues, this and that, let's give him a break, let's let him work on himself, this and that, and he never apologizes, never realizes his mistake, and blames it all on us, he's never going to stop doing this kind of stuff. The only way this makes sense, the only way he might change is if he accepts his mistakes, apologizes, yes, apology is definitely required of him, and learns something from this. You can't blame the fans, you can't blame the sponsors, you can't blame the social media, the bodybuilding media channels. No, he did this, he made his own bet. And if he doesn't do something about it, if he doesn't realize his mistake at least, he's gonna continue doing this for the rest of his life, his career, and it's never gonna get better. So I don't think it's a favor to just let him get away with this and blame everybody else and let him play the victim card. Now, we also got a statement from Phil Heath. That's right, Phil Heath voiced himself, and you guys know that Phil Heath used to be kind of in a similar shoes as Martin, not to this extent, but it probably lasted longer. People kind of really hated on Phil Heath because he had similar attitude like Martin Fitzwater, but he was basically the first guy that had to deal with the social media. It wasn't that. That was not the only reason why Phil Heath was hated. It's actually his personality. He was also really cocky, really arrogant, but he was the Mr. Olympia. He is one of the greatest of all time, probably second greatest of all time. So he probably had the right to be a little bit cocky and arrogant, but people didn't like that. And he always used to reply to their comments and argue with people in the comments. So he kind of lived through the same thing, and he learned something about it. And he shared his thoughts here, and he says, I want to be clear about something. I do not condone poor sportsmanship or disrespect in this sport. Bodybuilding is built on discipline, respect, and integrity. But I also do not support the mob mentality that tries to destroy someone's life or career over a single moment. Mental health is something we still do not talk about enough in this sport. So his approach, his take is pretty much the same as Brett's, and he says over a single moment. It's not a single moment. It's not only that he attacked Giles Thomas. It's not only that he did all those horrible things back in 2021 when Trigili made like 100 videos on him. You guys probably remember what he was doing back then. It's not only that he shoved Nick Walker, swore at him, that he didn't congratulate him, that he cheered like a freaking demon was leaving his body when Nick lost, that he insulted all the bodybuilding media, that he swore at Derek Clansford and he has witnesses for that. But also after all this happened, after the Arnold Classic, he basically wanted to take all the attention from Andrew and from Nick and talk about how he wasn't happy with his result and that he looked bad and that this was not right, that his fourth place is somehow more important than the guys who won the show. He basically made it seem like his fourth place at the Arnold was more important than the guys who won, 1 and 2. But that's all irrelevant. What is the worst thing here is that he swore and attacked and insulted and threatened the fans in the comment section. That's something you never do because the fans are what makes you. Without the fans, you are nothing. So he insulted so many people and he insulted so many groups of people that it's not just one moment. It's many, many moments. It's his behavior in general. And the last thing he did is he threatened everybody with doing something stupid if we don't forgive him, if we don't let him be, if we don't just stop attacking him or keeping him accountable once again. Now, I did say so many times, do not attack him, take it easy on him. But to just let him get away with this without saying anything and letting him get away with this without an apology, without him realizing he made a mistake, I don't know about that. Now, as far as his sponsors, Raw Nutrition made a statement that was a raw statement, and I respect this. They did this, CBAM did this, and they owned it. They didn't go back. They didn't find any excuses. They did what they thought was right, and they stuck with this. So they say, as a brand, we do not condone the behavior that conflicts with our core values and principles, of course. Respect, professionalism, and sportsmanship are non-negotiable for us. When actions or circumstances arise that no longer align with those standards, it becomes necessary for us to reevaluate partnerships. Perfect. A good statement. Now, the next statement I'm going to read is from the Elevate Foods, and you probably saw this one. So they say, we have decided to end the partnership between Elevate Foods and Martin Fitzwater, but I want to address something and invite some of you to reflect on something a little. And they say, cancel culture is ugly, super ugly. While I certainly don't agree with some of the actions from this past weekend, I find it pretty sad and pathetic to see some people hoping for someone else's downfall and celebrating the loss of sponsorships. How hypocritical, guys. How hypocritical, how two-faced this statement was. So the Elevate Foods literally canceled Martin Fitzwater, fired him. And now they're trying to put the blame on the fans again. If you don't believe in cancel culture and you think it's ugly, do not let the guy go. Do not fire him. Support him. If you really believe in that. No. They actually decided to follow the cancel culture, to cancel the guy, to fire him, and then to make a statement blaming everybody else and pretending that they are the nice guys, washing their hands away from everything they did. Terrible. Coach Greg actually said it best. Take a listen.
Why are we going to resort to that? We're going to really blame everyone but Martin? Yeah, it's my fault for whatever Martin did. I'm the one that told him to do this and to do that. I'm the one that got him fired. Are you kidding me?
And I was watching Coach Greg's videos these past couple of days about Martin, and I really like everything he's saying. He makes a ton of sense. I'm starting to really like the guy. I always liked him really, but I don't really enjoy the content he's making too much because it's not really about bodybuilding, it's about something else. But when he talks about bodybuilding, I can see that he's truly passionate about the sport, more passionate than most people who are really doing a lot of bodybuilding coverage, and he knows a lot as well, and he makes perfect sense. He's a very logical guy. Actually, I don't enjoy the screaming too much, but obviously he knows what he's doing. It's really, it's getting the attention of the people, and he's doing a good job, of course. He has a huge channel. He also did mention me in the top 4, bodybuilding media channels when he spoke about Martin saying that all media is trash. He said me, Fuad Abiad, Nixon Power, and even bodybuilding. Actually, I was before Fuad, so I was in the top 3. Anyways, as far as Coach Greg, he makes a lot of good points. Go and watch his videos on this. I pretty much agree with everything he says. Now, as far as Fuad Abiad, he's kind of taking it very easy at this point. He's going easy on Martin. But what he says, what he believes, what he suggests makes a lot of sense as well. Take a listen.
We all want Martin to do well, and we all want to see Martin do well. And we don't want to bash Martin. The problem was, I think when something like that happens, he got attacked so quickly after it happened
I don't think he had time to sit back and process and say, what did I do wrong? Like, he did the thing on stage, and then immediately there was just this huge backlash, like within hours. And I think he went on the defensive. And what he did was just start telling off all his fans. And I think that's where the sponsors were like, you can't do that, man. You're out. Sorry.
So Fu basically gives us the reason why all this happened. He thinks that we should just, take it easy a little bit. But he also says that Martin should apologize. That Martin should accept his mistakes and go back and apologize. And that's the only way this storm shall pass. And I completely agree with that. We do need to keep him accountable. We don't need to hate on him, to roast him, to make fun of him and everything like that, and to call him names, but to keep him accountable. That's very necessary. Again, everybody who is saying that he has mental issues, that he needs to see a counselor, a shrink, or whatever, that's also a huge insult. I don't think Martin is really losing his mind. I think he's just basically a big baby. He's crying for attention. He didn't do well, and he wants the attention to be on himself. And he doesn't know any other way to do that but to be a bad boy. He probably did that with his mother, and she gave him a lot of attention when he was behaving that way. She probably didn't raise him right. Everything comes from the home, guys. If he was raised right, learned some manners and how to behave, and how to control his emotions when it's needed, right? You can't just be emotional whatever you want and just say whatever you want and do whatever you want and then be like, I hate Nick Walker, I want to be fake. Like, man, you don't need to love him. You need to shake his hand on the stage. Like, that's part of being a professional. And he is a professional bodybuilder. He is not representing just Martin Fitzwater. He's representing the IFBB Pro League. He needs to stop all this, realize his mistakes, own them, apologize, and then the people might move on. Not might. People will move on. Again, people have their lives, other things in their lives. People will forget about all of this just the same way they forgot about what happened back in 2021, because he came back like a new guy, he presented himself well, and everybody forgot about that. He will do that again. He will bounce back. But the only way he can do that is by owning his mistakes, realizing what he did wrong and learning something from this, and most importantly, apologizing to everybody he insulted. And that's a lot of people, a lot of groups of people, actually. Now, if you're wondering what the biggest bodybuilding media channel is thinking, Nick Strength and Power, you can pretty much imagine. I'm going to show you a video. It's, of course, sped up, so don't worry. Listen to this.
Whatever happens with Martin, the hate bandwagon is going to be responsible for that. If Martin, who has all this potential, quits bodybuilding forever because of this, that's on their hands. If something, God forbid, even worse happens with Martin, that's on their hands. And I think about it from the standpoint of if he's actively going through something, mentally, tough times, whatever it is, and then you lose the majority of your income, potentially all of your income, when their sponsors bail on them for something like this, I honestly think it's kind of lame. They should be helping him get help or showing him how to be better, getting him counseling, whatever this is that he's going through. That's the approach that I would rather see.
Just as you expected, if you didn't watch his video, of course, Nick wants everybody to just, protect this kid and be nice to him and not say anything, not keep him accountable. He has mental issues. Let him get away with this. He can do it again every year. He can take the show away from the winners. Nobody needs to talk about the winners. We all need to talk about Martin and how he got fourth instead of third or fifth or whatever. This is all good. He can insult everybody. He can swear at everybody. He can do whatever he wants because he has mental issues and because he threatens he's going to do something stupid. Come on, man. Come on. This is not right. This is not right. I'm all for taking it easy, not insulting him at this point, because, there is a possibility of him doing actually doing something, which I doubt, to be honest, at this point. But you never know. If it happens, we need to be careful, but still, just letting him get away with this without learning anything and changing at all, I don't think that's the best way to approach this. Just my opinion. And maybe it's a controversial opinion at this point because everybody's on the bandwagon of creating a victim of Martin Fitzwater and blaming the fans, blaming the media. I have to stand up to this. And this is not right, in my opinion. You guys can hate me for this if you want. It's just my opinion, and it's honest opinion.
Look, we all have our moments, and people say, oh, we're meant to learn this as a kid, sportsmanship and that. Well, not everybody learns at the same pace as others. Some people never learn. You know, some people are emotional. Some people have other stuff going on in their heads. What he did was bad sportsmanship. We don't know what's going on in his head or anyone's mind. And you might do something silly, then how are you people going to feel if he does something?
Lee Priest is telling us pretty much the same thing. Everybody's doing this. I guess it's a popular thing to say nowadays, but again, guys, yes, we need to be careful because there is a strong possibility that he might do something terrible, that we don't need to tear this guy down completely to the shreds. He was punished enough at this point, yes, but until he apologizes, he should not be redeemed. I'm also pretty sure we'll see him at the Arnold Classic UK. I don't think he's going to retire from bodybuilding. The way he threatened he's going to cancel his social media or deactivate his account, he didn't do that neither. So, yeah, I think he'll be competing at the Arnold UK, most likely. But hopefully before that, he actually does the apology. He apologizes. Hopefully his head is going to get cleared enough before that and he realizes what he did and that he can fix this. The only way to fix this is by apologizing. And I wish the best to Martin. That's why I'm saying this. I hope he's watching because that's the only way people will forgive him. If he just ignores this and doesn't accept the mistake and blames everybody else, like what Brett is suggesting, what Heath is suggesting, Lee Priest as well, Nick Strength and Power as well, that will not work. I'm telling you guys, I'm in this game for a very long time. It does not work. So the best advice to Martin right now is not go to a counselor or go to church. No, own your actions, apologize, learn from your mistakes, and do not repeat them again. And that's my message to Martin Fitzwater. If you guys disagree with me, again, feel free to tell me down below, to tell me that I'm stupid, that I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm telling you guys, this is the only way. This is the right way. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, however, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you soon. Subscribe to the channel, by the way. All the best and bye-bye.